Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Solomon Raz and today I will give you an idea for a healer character in New World. Most importantly, as a healer, you should put most of your attribute points in focus. Focus increases your damage with the life stuff, and since your healing is based on the damage you deal with the life stuff, increasing focus will improve both your healing ability and your combat effectiveness. I recommend you to also put some of your attribute points in Constitution to improve your survivability. This is especially crucial if you want to play PvP, like the Fortress Rush mode. As for the abilities, I use the life stuff for PvE solo questing, as well since most of my attribute points were in focus, so dealing damage with anything other than the life stuff felt a bit tedious. Therefore, I use the damaging abilities from the Protector skill tree, Orb of Protection. This ability can heal, but mostly I use this as a quick damaging ability when solo questing. The Fortify buff and heal also make it useful when questing with a friend who plays a melee weapon, but also helps when you get attacked by NPCs in melee combat. Overall, I think the ability is useful, especially when you're still grinding your way up to the endgame, but you already want to be able to heal and cannot always rely on friends carrying you through every quest. Beacon. This ability has all the upsides of the Orb of Protection, but stronger. Heals in an area, but comes with a long cooldown. Nonetheless, I think this ability is worth having no matter what. From the healing skill tree, I use the Splash of Light ability. It is not a strong heal, but with the Purify node, it can immediately remove one debuff from every ally within 100 meters range, which helps your team to stay alive in challenging boss fights, but will also be very useful in PvP to counter the enemy's crowd control. The strongest healing ability is without a doubt Divine Embrace, so I recommend to replace the Orb of Protection with it as soon as you reach the endgame content and no longer need to level up through solo questing. You can find the exact distribution of skill points in the link in the video description below. To sum it up, I chose every passive node in the healing skill tree except for Intensify, as we will rarely rely on heavy attacks with the life stuff and instead focus on light attacks that now cost no mana, reduce cooldowns, and heal for a small amount, but chugging in a heavy attack every now and then can also remove a debuff from any hit ally. In the Protector skill tree, I only chose the abilities and their upgrades. If you're mostly playing PvE content, then I recommend the Spirits United passive node instead of the final upgrade to the Beacon, which grants a speed buff to healed allies that will mostly be useful and important in PvP battles. So far to the life stuff part of this character build. What could be a great secondary weapon? In my opinion, a melee weapon could be useful as well. The weapon combinations in New World are really versatile, but I didn't choose one of them. Ranged weapons make a lot of sense, and because I call this a support healer, we're looking for some crowd control. I found exactly what I was looking for in the Ice Gauntlet, a weapon that unfortunately does not scale off focus, but we don't need this weapon for the damage and only for the CC instead. I chose the following abilities. From the Ice Tempest skill tree, I chose the Ice Storm ability, its upgrades and all the passive nodes that this tree has to offer. From the Builder skill tree, I chose the Entombed ability with its upgrades, the Ice Shower ability with only 2 upgrades, and the following 3 passive nodes: Quick Frost, Frozen Touch, and Defiant Freeze. Ice Storm is a damaging AoE slow, which we can use to even freeze an enemy in its place when hit them with a heavy attack, thanks to the Heavy Freeze passive node from the Ice Tempest tree. Ice Shower itself roots every enemy who touches its area of effect, who also suffer from frostbite, so that we can again freeze them with heavy attacks. Combined with Ice Storm, we can effectively keep an enemy locked in a place for up to 12 seconds, if we don't get interrupted and land our heavy attacks precisely. With both abilities only having a 20-second base cooldown, we spend the majority of the time putting crowd control on our enemies. That's a lot of CC. The Entombed ability is our peeling ability, which also replenishes our mana very quickly. Although the cooldown is quite high, this ability will keep us safe, cleanse any debuffs, and force the enemy to either switch targets or be effectively useless for up to 10 seconds if they cannot destroy the shield fast enough. This combination of abilities and weapons allows us to do many things very well. Dealing damage is none of them. Your damage output will never be amazing, but you can heal allies, peel for them and yourself. You can support them to deal their damage more accurately by rooting enemies in place, or cover a retreat by slowing and freezing enemies. Your teammate gets stunned 50 meters away from you, no problem. Your allies need constant healing, spam light attacks. You get flanked, entomb yourself and wait for help, or flee through an ice shower power that speeds you up and keeps the enemy away. Somebody challenges you to a duel, you still have a decent chance to win that. Even though you deal very little damage, the ice gauntlet's crowd control itself is enough. If you can cast a beacon on the ground before entombing yourself, your HP can even recover quite a bit. I hope this video helped you to find your way into playing as a healer or support healer in New World. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. Thank you everybody for watching, and see you in the next one.